Hey, hi, how are you? Welcome back to the ADHD Podcast. I am Kyle, and I have with me my co-host, Nicholas.
Hey, what's going on?
Alrighty, so this is podcast episode number 1, officially. And
Eh,
you may not notice, depends on our editing, but we actually have a logo, and it's not scuffed looking. It's not hand drawn with MS Paint. I mean, actually, it is drawn with MS Paint, but we put a little
better.
bit more than 5 minutes into it.
Oh, 5 minutes is a bit generous. Half
Yeah,
of the time was looking up how to spell stuff.
you had to look.
So,
What did you have to spell? It's ADHD and podcast. Do you not know how to spell either of those?
no. Cause was that the one where I actually like spelled it out?
I don't know. All I I'm throwing up the one that we made with like the pill in the middle. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot how to spell definition, like high definition, so I had to look
Oh
that
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, not gonna lie. Definitely had to look up definition as well when I did the first one, the one last week. Yeah, I could type it out like just naturally, but like writing, like
hmm
I forget how to spell because I don't use
So,
pen and paper anymore. So.
yeah, I haven't, except for a math class, I have not like physically written anything down this whole year for school. It's
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Everything's being online, so it's just kind of like whatever. Guess I'm pen and paper's out.
guess I've forgotten how to write.
Yeah.
So this week we're gonna be looking at some of the best Super Bowl ads to have come out of it. If you want commentary on the Super Bowl, this is the wrong place. So is there a specific ad you'd like to start with, Kyle?
I personally there's some good ads. Some of them I'll be honest, I didn't understand, and I had to have my co-host here explain it to me. I am a bit out of the loop. My favorite one though was the Will Ferrell General Motors ad. I love Will Ferrell. I like GM. It was the best ad. That one was it was the one where they're talking about electric vehicles, being more prominent in Norway. I think it was Norway, and so Will Ferrell is just like, nah, this ain't right, okay? So he punches the globe, and then goes to collect his friends to go take over Norway and steal their
Stick it to
batteries or something. I don't know. I don't know why he went to Norway, but I thought it was hilarious. Aquafina's in it. I really like Aquafina. She's hilarious. And it's I think it's just funny. And at the end when he gets out and he's about to start like cussing out Norway and he goes, "Oh, this is a sweet little town." And then he calls up his buddies and they're like, "All right, we're in the middle of nowhere. Where are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm in Norway, right, guys?" And the people around him turn to him and go, actually, you're in Sweden, bro." And I'm like, that's kind of meta because Sweden and Norway, I think Sweden and Norway are the ones right next to each other.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up too. So, I would end up in Sweden and be calling it Norway. I would do that same thing just because my concept of location is just, I don't pay attention. I wouldn't know which one's on the left side of the peninsula and which one's on the right side of the peninsula.
You're like the dude who accidentally, instead of booking a flight to Indiana, booked a flight to India.
I would do that.
At the
I would
airport,
look
you're
at it and
like,
I'd
"What?
go,
Why do I need my passport? That's so weird. What do you mean a 30-hour flight?"
yeah, but I wouldn't think it. I was like, oh, must be some like layovers or something, delay of weather, 30 hours. That's normal. But I get there and I'm like, oh, this is India, not Indiana. Ah, but yeah, I like the Will Ferrell one. I thought that one was funny. What about you? What was your favorite ad?
Um, I don't know. I thought that the TurboTax one was kind of funny. Like it wasn't funny, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, that one had like random um what's the word?
Just like fun facts.
Fun facts. Yeah, that I thought was super interesting. Like one of them was you get like a tax break in Hawaii if you like take good care of a tree or something. It's like
Yeah, if you have a nice like garden or something.
that's crazy,
And then
dude.
like New Mexico, I think it was over 100. You don't have to pay state
Yeah,
taxes.
dude. Why don't they implement that? It'll just encourage people to live longer. uh, Although the tree one, the Hawaii one, I think they should implement that in California because that'll force people to you know, not build houses on every square inch of land that we own and actually allow us to have some greenery here. Because for those of you that live in California, which is definitely not where I am located, not doxing myself or anything, um, there is minimal greenery compared to other places. I know there's still greenery. It's not like New York, where it's literally the concrete jungle, but there is still a significant lack of greenery just in general.
Especially in the cities.
Yeah,
It's kind of depressing, just the gray haze over cities.
yeah. I think California should implement that. I think the U.S. should just implement that in every state. If you take care of a tree, you plant a tree, you save money. There you go. Uh, let's see. The Reddit one. I
The Reddit.
did not know that Reddit actually got a spot in the Super Bowl ad commercials. That is,
Yeah, just 5 seconds. Oh, and to the viewers at home, we will link every single one of these in the
yeah,
description
we'll
if you want
throw
to
it
watch
down
them
there.
for yourself. I would recommend it.
That Reddit one is that's I don't. It just to me, it's like that feeling you get of like camaraderie and just knowing, wow, they really did that. Kind of like what was the incident that there was some murder or some robbery and they posted it to 4chan and the people on 4chan went like they went in on it and they found the
They
guy
went
and the
ham.
police were like, what did you, and 4chan's like, don't ask questions. It's one of those things where it's like the community support is just so strong and it's hilarious because no one expects that. No one expects Reddit to be in the Super Bowl commercials, but they were, and I think that's pretty awesome. That's pretty funny.
No one expects Reddit to crash the stock market.
Oh God.
I believe GameStop finally fell under $50.
Wait, like GameStop
No,
stock?
no, their stock is still over $50 a share.
Jeez, is that high or low? I'll be honest, I don't know.
Before all of this incident, they were at like $4.
Oh, okay. So that's a pretty big jump.
Just a little bit.
Damn, I should have bought some.
Bought some GameStonk.
I should have used this investing app, which also happens to be a Super Bowl commercial, to invest in
Oh no.
GameStop. If you are following along here, Robinhood also got an ad into the Super Bowl, and I was kind of aware of the situation Robinhood was in, but not really. I had to have my co-host also explain that to me, but Robinhood was like under fire for not letting people buy stock. Is that what was happening?
So, effectively, what happened was it was GameStop, Nokia, and AMC, which were like the three stocks that the mad lads on Reddit were going after at that time. And effectively, Robinhood, this trading app, stopped anyone from being able to purchase on their platform any of those stocks, and actually started selling those stocks against people's will for them. And some people think that it's because they're technically owned by one of the groups that was losing a lot of money from people doing this shenanigan. And so actually the CEO of Robinhood, I believe next month, has to testify in front of the Senate because of this. Kind of like Zuckerberg did after the whole Facebook thing a couple years ago. Do
Okay.
you remember that?
Have you watched those? Those are on YouTube, and
Dude, it's
those are some of the funniest videos. It's
if you don't pay for Facebook, how does Facebook make money? With ads?
it's
How do you mean?
it just
We
surprises
show ads.
it surprises me sometimes how disconnected the government is from technology, because a lot of them, especially the Supreme Court, they're all older folk, and they're not really up to date on the whole technology. Especially the Google one. That one was hilarious when Google had to go testify or whatever in front, and one of the judges said, "How does Google?" Or he asked, "Can Google track where I am?" And the CEO said, "Well, I mean, that's not a straightforward answer. You know, it depends on your settings. If you allow Google to track you, then we can. If not, then we can't." And the judge responded, "You're making it more convoluted than it needs to be. It's a simple yes or no answer." And the CEO literally, like, he looked down and he's like, "What do I say? It's not. I don't know what you want from me. This is not a yes or
It
no
can?
answer. It can
I guess.
track you and it can't track you. It depends on your options. I'd have to see your settings." And he's like, You're avoiding the question. It's a yes or no." And the dude just looked down and he's like, "How do I explain this? How am I, how?" It
How
was
do I put this into words that this man will understand?
it was just so it was so funny how oblivious they were. And then at one point the guy even stood up, walked over, and he's like, "If I got up and walked over to my fellow Democrat, or he said, if I got up and walked over and stood next to my Democrat folk over there, which would make him uncomfortable because he was a Republican, and they were just like, he was like, it'll make him uncomfortable, but, you know, will you guys be able to track me? Will you know that I've been over there? Will you be able to tell the Republicans that I went over and hung out with the Democrats?" And he's like, "Sir, dude, I can't tell you unless I look at your settings." And the dude's like, "It's a simple yes or no answer. You're avoiding the question." I just, it was hilarious. So I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking up Google versus Supreme Court. It is very entertaining. Or Zuckerberg versus the Supreme Court.
Yeah, there's some real quotes from this. It's just it's strange how little they can understand.
Yeah, like I can understand, you're kind of out of the loop, you didn't grow up with technology. You're not as, it's not as intuitive to you. But
It's like they didn't do any research
yeah,
before, like,
it's like they kind of just
going up
walked
there.
in. They're like, "What is Google?" And their assistant was like, "It's some online service thing." They go, "All right, well, they're doing something wrong, and let's tell them to stop." And they go, "Do you even know what it is? Do you know what Google does?" I don't think they do. I don't think they have any clue what Google is or how it
You
functions.
think they're the kind of people that type Google into, like, Google?
They're the people that pull up, they open their browser and they have Yahoo, and then they Google on Yahoo, and it's like you could set it to default browser, and they go, "I don't know how to do that." It's like, "I prefer to use Google." It's like, well, if Yahoo's already your default, you could just use Yahoo, or you can. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. Uh, we had some other entertaining Super Bowl commercials. I also really liked the Doctor Squatch, the shampoo one. I see this guy all the time. Every time I'm watching
Oh yeah,
YouTube,
all over YouTube.
he is
You're
so
not a
funny.
dish, you're a man.
You're not a dish. I think his commercials are so funny. They remind me of the old. You remember the purple mattress commercials?
Yes,
I
I
love
do.
those and the Doctor
Where
Squatch.
they're like, we're gonna prove it with science. And then they
Yeah.
pull out, like, the raw egg test or something like that.
Yeah, well, my favorite was the Sasquatch one. If you ever saw that one, it was like some dude dressed up in a Bigfoot costume, pretending to be a mom, and she's talking like, or he was talking like, "Oh, you know,
Being a mom is
being a
one of the
mom,
hardest jobs.
yeah. And it's like little Timmy over here, and it's like the little demon baby child of Bigfoot is like running around on the mattress, and she's like, he just makes a mess, and it's so it doesn't take itself seriously, and that's why I love those commercials. They can just kind of do what they want and just be goofy and know that hey, it's gonna get attention, and it's gonna get
It's gonna work.
it's gonna work. People are gonna remember this.
Yeah, I mean, enough that you still remember it. I don't think they're running that ad anymore.
Yeah, so the Dr. Squatch one, that one I thought it was pretty funny. It's it's just kind of goofy. It talks about, oh yeah, the quote where he goes, this is a kind of soap for the man who can open a pickle jar on the very first try. And I think back to that. You ever watch that one SpongeBob episode where they're trying to open the pickle jar, and
First, get a jar.
first get the jar, put your hand on the lid, and remove it. But he just can't. See, SpongeBob needs some Dr. Squatch. SpongeBob needs some Dr. Squatch soap. Then he'll be able to open the pickle jar. There you go.
I think it was Patrick that was struggling with the pickle jar, not SpongeBob.
Was it? I'll be honest, I don't remember. I just remember there was a pickle jar and they couldn't open it. There's so many SpongeBob episodes, I can't remember them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So we had the TurboTax one. We had the Dr. Squatch, the Robin Hood, Reddit's 5-second, amazing 5 seconds of glory. Will Smith.
Another funny one was the Fiverr ad.
That was the Four Seasons landscaping, right?
Yeah, so there's the whole funny about the Four Seasons landscaping, but that's not even to me the funniest part about the ad. It's the fact that they're acting like there's some like major company
Like corporation.
that like has all these like specialists, and that it's not. You pay someone $5 online to record like a Minecraft parody that you think would be funny.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Also, you guys will have to let us know. But I personally think that vehicle, that little go-kart thing that she rides around in when she's given the ad, it straight just looks like the Cybertruck that Elon Musk built. I don't know if that's just me, but like it heavily resembles that to me. So you'll have to let us.
Well.
You'll have to let us know in the comments what you think. It's I don't know. It was an interesting commercial. It's not. I didn't think it was super, hilarious, but I mean, I feel like over the years the Super Bowl ads have kind of gone downhill. I remember back in like middle school, there were some like bangers. They were hilarious. That you went to school and you did like a report on the Super Bowl ads because America is way too fascinated with American football. But I feel like over the years they've kind of gone downhill.
Yeah, they've just gotten more tame. Like the old ones were like really random and like strange. Like they were more abstract, whereas these ones are more like, hey, look, it's us, GME. We sell electric cars, and we have celebrity.
We have celebrity. We make fun of a country. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. The Will Ferrell making fun of Sweden, which I see. I can't even remember which one it was. Norway. Apparently, Norway retaliated with their own commercial for, I think it was Audi. And they used the guy from Game of Thrones. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. And they made fun of him saying like, oh, don't hate, imitate, don't get mad at us, just follow us. And I was like, damn, Sweden or Norway, I keep saying Sweden. Norway really out here, like, firing shots back at us. I thought that was kind of a funny quarrel, and you don't see that too much. Occasionally you get the Twitter feud of like Wendy's and Carl's Jr. going at it, but It's not often you see GMC going after Audi or Audi going after GMC.
Dude, Wendy's has some good roasts.
Dude, the Wendy's Twitter, there's nothing quite like the Wendy's Twitter. Like there's just something about that person who is just a creative genius, you know.
We've got some glorious tweets pulled up here. So they were asked at Wendy's, who's running this savage page? And Wendy's came back with 3 dogs in a trench coat pretending to be human.
See, who could? That's not a normal response. Normally, you'd say, yes, the advertising team of Wendy's. My name is Gerald. I'm a 35-year-old. I sit in my mom's base. No. 3 dogs in a trench coat pretending to be human.
Well, and we have other much better clapbacks. Like someone tweeted at Wendy's, "Your food is trash," and Wendy responded, "No, your opinion is though."
That's so good. Dude, like, because they always have like, a lot of those restaurants are like, yeah, the customer's always right. Wendy's is like, nah, we're right.
I'm going to McDonald's. What should I get? Wendy's. A McRefund.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Wendy's though, their Twitter game is off the charts.
At Wendy's, name a scam. And then Wendy's responded, some people use frozen beef in their hamburgers.
At McDonald's. Dude, that'd be... Imagine getting the Wendy's Twitter person on here. Get them as a host. Or, as a host, wait, no. Alright, well, they're replacing you, Nick. We're hiring on the Wendy's Twitter management as our second host. This will be Nick's last podcast here with us. So
it was good seeing you.
Yeah, it was a good 2 episodes. No, that would be awesome though if we could get them on.
Dude, Mr. Peanut tweeted from the
Planters
Peanuts. Yeah. Tweeted, all right, at Wendy's, roast this nut. And Wendy's responded, congratulations on being the worst part of trail mix. And someone responded, you forgot about raisins, though. And they said, we tried to. Thanks. James Vaughan, maybe you're familiar with him. I'm not.
James Vogue?
Said, yeah, maybe. Said, you know, come on, Wendy's, what do you got? Roast me. And Wendy's responded, you're in 15 shows and we still had to Google you to find something to roast.
That's pretty funny, dude. I love the Wendy's Twitter management.
At Wendy's, they've got 1.1 million followers, but don't know how to ignore people roasting them. Does a 12-year-old run this account? And Wendy's responded, yeah, it's really hard balancing this job and a full middle school course load, but I make it work.
There's just... You can't touch them. You can't touch them. They're untouchable.
At Wendy's, can you give me relationship advice?
Oh,
if you're asking a fast food Twitter, this relationship might be doomed.
Oh, no.
Hey, at McDonald's, heard the news. Happy hashtag National Frozen Food Day to you for all the frozen beef that's in your burgers.
Ooh. That's pretty sad, man.
At Wendy's, how much does a Big Mac cost? And they responded, your dignity.
Oh.
Dude, honestly...
I'll be honest though, I've never actually had Wendy's.
No, me neither. But all I know is supposedly I think they make onion rings.
Oh.
And they have square patties.
Wait, square patties?
Yeah, their patties are like squares instead of circles.
Like 4-sided, like geometrical.
Yes.
Equally.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. You know what we should do?
Wendy's food
Next
review.
podcast. Yep. Next podcast, we'll order some Wendy's and we'll review it. We'll give it a.
I am not a huge fan though of people have started cosplaying, we'll call it,
Oh no.
as the Wendy's mascot in not Wendy's fashion. I'll say that.
What do you mean?
And it's something I really
uh,
don't think I needed to see in my life. Uh,
you should tweet it at the Wendy's account. Is this what you do after hours?
Hooters tweeted at Wendy's, "What you got?" And Wendy's responded, "Uniforms our employees can wear in the winter."
That's why you don't see Hooters up north.
Yeah, I like the Wendy's stuff.
I think next episode you are maybe not next episode, maybe 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I don't know. We'll see. Whenever we can, we'll maybe
Get
get
some
a
Wendy.
get a Wendy's review in here. Get a what do you call that when
Food review.
no a mukbang.
No,
You ever heard
no,
of a mukbang?
no. I don't want to have, but I have.
Um. All right, guys, we're now a mukbang podcast. Starting next week. You have that to look forward to.
Dude, it was a really it wasn't meant to be funny, but really was the mayonnaise ad with Amy Schumer.
Okay, that is
Um,
Amy Schumer. I wasn't sure if that was or not because I'm horrible
mhm.
with faces and names. But yeah, honestly, like that ad, it was so subtle and so smooth, but it was pretty cleverly
It's better
funny.
than any of her comedy skits.
Oh, Amy Schumer, come onto the podcast to defend yourself. There we go.
Let's look up some of her best jokes. We're gonna look up best Amy Schumer
Hmm.
jokes.
But the Hellman's fairy god mayo. I was kind of wondering this myself, but like, what is an artichoke? Like, I genuinely don't know what an artichoke. It's a I'm assuming it's a vegetable, right? Something
I
like
don't think
that.
it has seeds. I've never eaten an artichoke and found a seed, so I think it is technically a vegetable.
Cause see, I thought the whole thing of like the vegetable versus fruit thing was like the seeds are on the outside versus inside. But then if an is it artichoke? Artichoke doesn't have a seed. Is it even a vegetable or are there seedless vegetables?
No, I thought it was vegetables don't contain the seed. Fruits do contain the seed, which is just the difference. Like apple's a fruit because it's got seeds,
But isn't there? I mean,
and then
isn't a um broccoli? Isn't like the top part a seed?
I don't know. Let's see i- what defines a fruit from a vegetable. Uh, what part of the plant they come from? A fruit develops from the flower of the plant, while everything else is the vegetable. Fruits contain
Oh.
seeds, while vegetables consist of roots, stems, and leaves.
So in short, vegetables are nasty.
Vegetables are like the
Vegetables are
not
like the
cool parts of the
leftover.
plant.
Yeah, it's like the left. It's the part you don't want to eat. It's the part you look at and you go, nah.
I'd rather not,
Nah, nah. It also says here that a variety of species of thistle is cultivated as a food. Or specifically, an artichoke is a variety of a thistle. Now, if I'm not wrong, a thistle is like a bush.
Like a spiky bush, if I know correctly.
And yeah, it's a flowering of plants. Here's another thing, another tidbit. We are going way off topic on this, but
We don't have a topic in this podcast, so we can't go off topic.
that is also true. A Russian thistle is it a Russian thistle? Is what becomes a tumbleweed.
Huh. So
So when a
they.
Russian thistle dies, it is now a tumbleweed.
So wait, are tumbleweeds like spiky?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, have you ever seen a tumbleweed?
Like seen from a distance.
Yeah. Well, they're just kind of like a brush. Like you think of.
I try and avoid the parts of the U.S. where tumbleweeds are.
Dude, there's some tumbleweeds in California. I've seen them on the highways.
Yeah, well,
I was surprised. I
more
thought
in like southern
I thought like
California.
only Texas had it. No, I've seen some up here.
Really?
Yeah.
I always imagine them like southern U.S. and northern
Yeah.
Mexico.
You always think of
That's like
desert, but nah. But yeah, apparently a Russian thistle when it dies turns into a tumbleweed. So by that logic, if a if an artichoke is a thistle and a thistle is a tumbleweed, an artichoke is therefore a tumbleweed. No flaws.
I see no flaws in this logic.
No flaws. 100%.
Not one.
We're here to educate you and tell you no lies.
This is an educational podcast. Everyone better launch up their Minecraft Education Edition.
Yeah, but no, that's a interesting topic. Yeah, so I actually didn't know that for the longest time until I heard about a Russian thistle and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, this is tumbleweed pre-death, and I was like, interesting.
So does it look like just a normal bush?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't like to think of bush because bush implies like greenery and softness. I like to think of brush, brush.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like mangled leaves and stems. It's just kind of like a mess. Like you think of a bush being kind of like nice and clean, and then brush being like just mangled mess and kind of chaotic.
So I'm in the Wikipedia page for the like scientific name for the Russian thistle,
Oh man.
and it's Calitragus. And so there's a picture of it, and I don't know why this is fine to me. It says Calitragus in tumbleweed mode,
What?
as if it can just freely switch. So
Tumbleweed mode. So it's it's like a it's like a
it's
transformer.
like Bastion from Overwatch.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
It switches into tumbleweed
no.
mode.
I completely forgot all about that. Tumbleweed mode. Here we go. But yeah, so that concludes our segment on what is an artichoke. Next week
A
we will
mess.
talk about what is an onion. Probably not. Hopefully not. That was. Onions are bad. Onions are bad.
That was a bad idea.
I should not. I should not start talking about just.
Shrek.
Oh no! I didn't even think about that. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
Was it hold on, I need to look something up. When did Shrek 1 come out? So Shrek 1 came out
2004, 2003,
2001.
2001. Hey, I was
Yeah,
like
so-
3 years off.
Let's think of some like random people that were alive for Shrek, because this really can fuck with you sometimes. So
What do you mean?
like people that you think are like from in the past that were alive when this movie came out, because there's some like random ones that you wouldn't think of.
So we're
I'm
just
trying to
looking
think
at
of
people that died after 2001.
Rosa Parks, she was alive for Shrek 1.
Wait, really? Oh God.
Yep. Rosa Parks was alive for Shrek 1
I'm so sorry, Rosa
and
Parks.
Shrek 2.
I am so sorry.
She was alive for the first two Shrek movies.
That is unfortunate. That
What a
is
way to go. You fight for civil rights just to see Shrek before you
just
die.
to suffer with Shrek. I wonder, at that age, did they actually like go to see Shrek? I wonder.
Maybe on home video.
Maybe like their grandkids or something. You ever wonder like I always wonder about that too. Like if someone's like really old, they served in like a war way back when, like World War II or something, or the Vietnam War, and then they see a movie more recently about it. Like
Yeah,
that's
Shrek is about civil rights.
yeah. I mean, just like it's. All right, you heard it here. Shrek 6, civil rights, coming out 2021. Um, but I always found like I would think that'd be really weird to be like I was alive when that happened, or movies based on like true events from like way back when. Think about like Pearl Harbor, or I guess that doesn't have to be like a national emergency, or like a just something big like when Pong first came out. I don't know. Uh, I just think
Well,
it's really weird, like to live through something, and then 30, 40 years later, you're watching a movie about something you lived through. Like when we're 80 or something, and we look back and we go,
is that gonna be COVID movies?
I was gonna say like we're gonna see a COVID movie in our lifetime, and it's gonna be weird because it's gonna be like I lived through that, and I'm watching a movie about it.
So
Huh.
here's an interesting question for you. So in a lot of Asian countries like Japan, China, Korea, uh, before the pandemic, it was pretty common for if you weren't feeling well, to just wear a mask just out of courtesy.
Hmm.
Do you think that that's gonna start becoming a thing more worldwide after COVID?
I would hope so. I mean, the more I think about it, the less I really want to shake people's hands, and the less I really want to be like talking to someone when they're sick. Like, it's not like COVID hasn't made me a germaphobe, but it's just like when you really think about it, it's kind of nasty beforehand. Like shaking hands with someone, you don't know where their hands been. You don't know if they washed it like 2 days ago. You don't know if they just stuck it in a pigsty or something. They were cleaning their hog or something, and they're like, I gotta go out to my business meeting and shake hands with a bunch of people after, you know, picking up
Yeah,
my dog's crap off the lawn. And I don't
I
like.
mean,
Like if everyone just wore a mask when they felt sick, I feel like that would bring down like just sickness in general. Like we'd have a lot less of that. And I know that's
yeah,
fairly common in Asian countries specifically, to wear masks, but I wouldn't mind seeing that in the U.S.
yeah. So, have you? I don't know if you've seen this, but have you seen how much lower the flu rates have been this year?
I
Uh,
haven't.
because yeah, everyone's like wearing a mask and everyone's like home. Like, there's like it was either oh fuck, what was it? Like less than 1,000 people have died of the flu
Dang.
this year so far, and that's like really low.
This year, as in 2021 or 2020?
2020.
Okay.
Like from the start of COVID, like in March to December, it was like 1,000 people died or something, like 1,200 people in the U.S.
Wow.
And it's like
Because typically that's up in like I thought it was like in the hundred thousands.
it's like let's see here,
Flu
average.
deaths 2019. Ooh, wow. So, according to the CDC, during the 2018-2019 season, uh, 34,000 deaths from influenza. So,
Mhm.
that season, I don't know how long that season is. I don't know if it's just like a couple months or like the whole Oh, okay, here it is. So from October of 2018 to mid-February of 2019, 34,000 people died from influenza, the flu. And
Hmm.
now let's compare that to 2020 to 2021 influenza deaths. I'm curious to see how much lower it is. If I can find something. Because, yeah, with all
Let's
the
see.
masks and everyone staying home, I'm sure it's come down quite a bit. But even just the masks themselves, I feel like that would do a lot.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely interesting because like there's definitely going to be long-term effects of like how many people have had to like stay home and stuff on like just society as how it functions.
Wow.
Like a lot more things that could be online probably will stay online.
Yeah,
Like in places where there are like big snowstorms, they might not have like snow days anymore because they'll just hop on Zoom.
yeah, which is kind of sad when you think about it, because, like, that was kind of the fun part of school to go, ah, I get a day off. This is pretty sweet, you know? The weather is, like,
Yeah,
destroying the crops and, like, smothering houses and trapping people inside, but I get a day off. Like, something that was common, well, not super common, but common enough at our high school was heat days. Like, there were days where the temperature would get so high, and we didn't have AC
it,
in our
yeah.
high school till my junior year. Uh, Nicholas is a year behind me, so it was his sophomore year. But we didn't get AC until we were halfway through high school, and there were some days where it was like in the hundreds, and you're sitting in a room with a bunch of other people who are sweating, and it can get pretty bad. People go, it's just heat, just like cool down. But there were some people that were like passing out and stuff, and it wasn't good. So we actually had some school cancellation days, which that was super fun. But in the future, we may not have that. It's gonna be like, all right, school's canceled in person, but everyone hop on Zoom, and everyone goes, damn it, damn it.
Yeah, I wonder like as well, like how much money do you think has Zoom made by this pandemic?
A lot. But also, before we get off topic, because I mean, this isn't just called the ADHD podcast for nothing. I forgot to finish the previous thought about the deaths comparison. So, 34,000 in 2018 to 2019, only
Mm.
22,000 from 2019 to 2020. So it's about a 12,000 decrease. And that was just 2019 to 2020. That wasn't even before um, COVID was huge. That was only like minor things. That was
Then I
before.
must have my 1,000 must be this year so far because
Yeah.
I knew it was fairly recent.
And this is from about October to mid February, about that time frame. Um, so yeah, that's I mean that's dropping. It's still dropping. I'm sure it's dropped significantly more with COVID. Of course, it's not
Well, yeah,
great because all those deaths that would have been to influenza are now to COVID. So it's like it's just trading one evil for another. But
yeah. It's definitely interesting though to look at how because a lot of the people who are at risk of dying from common flu or influenza or what you would want to call it are also the people who are at high risk of
COVID,
COVID death.
yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting to see like the long term effects of because it's a very large number of people that are dying from it, and how that might in the long term decrease even 10 years from now the amount of flu deaths just because we're starting with so many less people who are in like the danger zone for it.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting comparison.
Was there any more ads we wanted to talk about today?
Um, I personally, I that was all I had.
The Amazon one. The Amazon, like,
Which one was
the
the
Alexa
Amazon?
one was really, really weird.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. Who was the person they were trying to? Michael B. Jordan. That's what it was.
Yeah, they had like a a woman is like, oh, I can't think of any like better, you know,
Body or like a
apparatus for this, Amazon Alexa, uh, to be in, and then she starts like daydreaming about her, like Alexa being this. What was his name again?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, like it being Michael B. Jordan, and then she was like bathing with it, and then
It's
she
kind
was
of
like
weird.
going on like a romantic walk with it, and it was just really like unsettling.
Yeah. But that brings me to an interesting topic here. If you could have your Alexa take the form of any person in the world, who would it be?
Oh, you, Kyle.
Oh. Um, I'm gonna retract. Editor, can we just like cut that? Put in someone else. Put in anyone.
What do you mean,
Literally
editor?
anyone.
You are the editor.
You're right. Dude, I can
No,
replace that with anything I want now. Ooh.
dude. If it, actually though, if I was to have it be just like anyone, I I don't know, cause I am very happy because I have the Dot, the like Echo
Oh
Dot.
yeah.
And it's really nice because it's really small, and so I wouldn't want a person-sized,
You don't want an assistant, a personal assistant?
not a person-sized one. That would be just like, where am I gonna put that?
What? He just walks around with you. He's a personal assistant.
I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of AI. I don't know if I need that in my life.
I think it'd be super sick. Like you just have it's literally just your personal assistant that just walks around with you. I mean, I guess it would be. You'd have to have like an off switch or like a stay at home option, so you can be like, yeah, I don't want you like following me on my date to you know,
Arby's.
yeah, what? Yeah, my date to Arby's because that's where I go for my dates. But personally, if I had to pick someone, see, I can't even answer my own question. Uh, probably some comedian. Oh, Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong. I would choose him. He is hilarious. I think it'd be pretty entertaining to have.
I think it would be funny to have like
Or
Kim Jong Un as my Alexa. Like, I'm sure it would stop being funny after like a week.
yeah, some people might say that's in poor taste. Uh,
Potentially.
Potentially, you gotta leave it behind, and you can only take them with you and for certain crowds. With certain crowds, you gotta be careful. But I think it
Yeah,
could.
and
I
that
think
would
it could be
definitely,
funny.
like,
It could be funny though. It could be funny. Having a
it definitely
dictator.
would get old very quickly.
Yeah, but it is kind of funny thinking. I have this dictator, but he's my slave now.
Kim, what is the weather outside?
It is
Kim,
57
add-
degrees.
Kim, add ground beef to my shopping list.
So here's the thing though, would he talk with in Korean or would he talk in English?
I mean, only one of those would be useful.
But imagine
But
like whoever you chose, you had to learn that language. So you choose someone and then all of a sudden you're like, great, I have this useless but now you can learn the
now you're
language.
inspired to actually get off your ass and learn the language.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
That would be. And speaking of language, with this slick transition,
Did you
uh,
know that Putin speaks German and English fluently,
uh,
and Swedish?
Swedish surprises me, but the other two don't because they're so, you know, big and used all the time. Like,
Yeah,
being in Russia, you're working close with Germany, and German is probably pretty common in
just Europe
Europe
as
in
a whole.
general, and the U.S. is English is used literally everywhere, which I feel so bad for people when they
Whose
try to
first
learn.
language isn't English?
I Yeah, honestly, I learning English has got to be a pain. Like I struggle with English, and it's my first language. It's
It's because the
that goes
rules
to
are so
show you.
inconsistent.
Yeah, which is actually because with this whole topic, we Nicholas and I have been using Duolingo. Duolingo, hit us up if you want to sponsor our podcast. Definitely, please hit us up.
Please.
Uh, we've been using Duolingo and learning some foreign languages of our own. And I don't know about Nick, but it is so different. And I feel like it's almost easier learning a foreign language than it is to learn English. Maybe it's not easier, but it's definitely not as hard as I was expecting. Which
Yeah,
just kind of says like, or it's not that it's easy. It just makes more sense. It makes just more practical sense in the way that they organize their sentences or the way that they use certain.
sometimes.
Sometimes, obviously, there's some languages that are just like, what is this? But from my experience, I've been learning Japanese with Duolingo, and I've been enjoying it. And to be honest, it makes more structural sense than English does. Just saying.
Because it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's not really an alphabet-based language, it's a character-based language,
It's
where you have, like,
character and syllabolic. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's
has
based.
syllables.
Yeah, it uses syllables instead of letters, so you can sound out every word. Unlike English, where you have pterodactyl and what's another silent word?
No versus no.
Oh God, I hate that. Absolutely hate that. No, no. Then there's there. It's
Two,
like
two, two.
it's honestly just a mess. So I feel bad for
But it's
people.
fun, though. It's fun, though, because you never know what you're gonna get when you see a new word.
That is fair. That is fair. But no, I just foreign languages are they're pretty fun to learn, and yeah, I
Would
just
recommend
would
trying in your
recommend.
free time.
Uh, but yeah, those poor people trying to learn English. I feel
Dude,
so bad for,
I
and
can't
I hate it
imagine.
because the U.S. is so adamant about using English everywhere else. We're so like arrogant about it. We'll go to, you know, Paris and then go, yo, you guys speak English, and it's like you're in Paris, you're in
Okay, but French is
France.
equally as bad as English, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, I don't know the specifics of French, but I think that's kind of rude to go to
Oh
someone
yeah, it's
else's
rude. It
country
definitely is
and go,
rude.
yo, do you speak my language from back? It's like you don't expect someone from Russia to come over here and go, do you speak Russian? You better speak Russian. And it's like, no, no, nuh-uh. I think maybe it's just me, but I feel like if I want to go visit a country, I have to at least know the basics of the language because
Yeah,
it
that's
shows
me as
like a
well.
commitment of like, hey, yeah, it's a mutual respect thing. Like, hey, I'm coming to your country. I'm a guest here. I will speak your language. It's like you don't go to someone else's house and then just, um, you know, ignore live or how do you say this? You don't go over to someone.
Expect them to conform to you.
Yeah, like you don't go over to someone else's house and act like it's your own house. I mean, unless they say make yourself at home, and then by all means, no. But by all means, put your feet up on the couch. Put your feet up on the table. No. It's just I don't. To me, it's a sign of like mutual respect.
Respect,
Yeah.
yeah.
So But
It's
props to
definitely rude to not at least know like your hellos, your goodbyes,
yeah,
please, thank you.
yeah. So foreign languages, I highly recommend go try one out. Use Duolingo. Uh, great website, great source, great. Some people. I actually heard from a friend that Duolingo is like not the right, like it teaches people the wrong way. At least for certain languages. I don't know if it is for every language, but specifically for Japanese, they were saying they teach you it the wrong way. I don't know how you could teach language the wrong way. It's you got to start somewhere. Whether you start with like you know just words and memorizing words, or you start with sentence structure, or you start with grammar. Like you got to start somewhere. So I don't know if there's really a wrong way. It's just kind of get your foot in the door, and then from
Mhm.
there you can branch out and start talking to actual people with that
Yeah,
language, and then learning the common sense of the language.
something I think that a lot of the issue comes with when people are using things like Duolingo is they only use like Duolingo. Like
Hmm.
they'll just use that and then do nothing else related to the language. When in reality, you have to, expose yourself to hearing it, speaking it, reading it.
Yeah,
If you want to actually like learn it, you have to like expose yourself to a good bit of the language.
because a lot of people use Duolingo and they go, "All right, great, I can read it," but they can't always speak it. So that's
Hmm.
for like talking with someone who's familiar with the language. Trying to have a conversation, practicing writing it out, practicing, reading the language in context. Grab a newspaper, find some article online in that language. You got to use other mediums too to help you kind of get a sense of okay, how does this language work?
Yeah, because the languages are, they got their own like weird rules within themselves that if you don't, expose yourself to the actual language, you're not gonna understand what's going on.
Hmm. Alrighty. Well, I believe Nick, you had a Darwin Award
Would you
pulled
like
up.
to read it this week since I read last week's?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. I forgot to read this earlier. All right, so
If you're
actually,
not aware of what this
I'll
section is, we read a Darwin Award or some other honorary, potentially stupid encounter, and we, I guess rank it and determine whether the person was in the right, the wrong, and how stupid or, unfortunate the person in question was.
and I don't know if we need to throw this in here, but just a warning: if you don't know about the Darwin Awards, these people die. Like I'll be honest, last week I didn't know that all these awards are given to people who actually died. I thought it was just like a story of someone getting hurt. But if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, skip ahead, or
We'll drop a timestamp.
yeah, I'll throw in a timestamp when we finish talking about this. But yeah, just a heads up because I was not aware of it last week. I'm not super sensitive to that kind of thing, but some people are, and I don't want people to go, oh well, not watching this podcast because they are talking about this and that, and I don't want to hear about that. So I was trying to cover all bases. But here we have the Slack Robatic Effort. Uh, so, uh, February 9th, 2020, Mount Gambier, Australia. At midnight, the phone rang for Police Inspector Campbell Hill. What? Somebody fell into the sinkhole? Bloody hell. Better ring up the fire department. We need their rope rescue ring for this one. End quote. Cave Garden Sinkhole, the most magical spot in South Australia, is actually the cenote on the flanks of the dormant volcano. Located at the heart of the city of Mount Gambier, beautiful vines and roses cascade down its steep walls, and a graceful waterfall adds to the natural beauty. A protective fence surrounds the sinkhole, and a lovely wrought iron platform extends over the precipice to offer a thrilling view of the cenote floor 100 feet below. Here we go. Quote, "What do you mean they drained the pool?" End quote. Rick Lotz on Facebook said. Quote, "Bastard owes me 20 spot. Told him he couldn't do it." End quote. James Madison responds on Facebook. The mayor said the sinkhole, a popular locale and tourist attraction, was a, quote, "a safe environment for many years, enjoyed by thousands of people," end quote. Inspector Hill may have muttered those same rueful words as he arrived before dawn on Sunday morning. The fire service had already rigged up the rope rescue apparatus searchlights focused on the lifeless body of 20-year-old Bradley Streeter. Strider?
Maybe.
Who knows? Who was hoisted up and out of the sinkhole at 3 a.m. Police investigation swiftly uncovered the events that led to his tragic tumble. Two facts were certain. Bradley died instantly at the scene, and foul play was ruled out. But when Inspector Hill was told of the specific reason for Bradley's death, he could only stand dumbfounded. Quote, "He did what?" Question mark, end quote. "Unlucky, you poor silly bastard, R.I.P. Likely all of us have done some almighty stupid shit and lived to tell the tale." Quote, Matthew Ice on Facebook. Bradley was a cheeky lad with a heart of gold, adventurous and mechanically talented, fond of four-wheelers and fishing. An aspiring mechanic with a side hustler selling car parts. He had a good future ahead of him, and he was well loved by family and friends in his small hometown 5 hours away from Mount Gambier. So Inspector Hill found it hard to accept that witnesses and first responders were telling him young Bradley did a midnight handstand on the viewing platform railing. Yes, a handstand. Moments before midnight, Bradley was poised upside down on a rail 100 feet above the dark cave floor. In a single moment, his proud alley-oop became a disastrous alley-oops, as he lost balance and his trajectory took him down into the dark cenote. I don't know how I've been pronouncing that wrong or not, whatever. It's a cave. It's a big crevice, a hole in the ground. Friends were with Bradley the night he performed an, quote, illegal handstand that resulted in his death, end quote. Quote, bet he doesn't try that trick again, end quote, Lee Conkey on Facebook said. Handstands are fine at ground level, where a bump to the butt is the worst that can happen. But add any amount of altitude and your chance of injuries grow exponentially along with the force of gravity. The speed of an object in freefall doubles for each second it falls towards the earth. Editors at the Darwin Awards regretfully hand Bradley this Darwin Award while wishing we could have talked sense into him before he did the deed. He did the die.
He did the die.
He did the die. Oh, there was another quote here. Quote, gymnast goes off the deep end, end quote. Anonymous award. I don't know who said that, but maybe that's just a word by... Anyways, so... yeah, this happened... actually, yeah, almost a year ago. Wow.
Alright.
Almost a year ago on the dot. So, moral of the story, this dude drove 5 hours with some buddies on a Saturday night to a sinkhole, which is, viewed pretty often by, tourists, and it's a hot spot, It's kind of like the Grand Canyon of Australia. I actually don't know if that's true or not. That's the only, big hole I know in America. And he did a handstand and fell over. Now, they don't mention anything about being intoxicated or having any kind of mental disability or, nothing wrong with him in the brain. So
we're gonna assume, for the sake of this, that
he's just
was
a standard normal...
in normal mind, effectively.
Yeah. But to be in a normal mind and to do that... I don't know how. How could you be in a normal mind and do something like this?
I mean, I don't know. I can understand why he would want to. Because I'm not going to lie. That sounds kind of cool to do.
Take a picture and you go, damn, look what I did.
Yeah, like that sounds pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie. But then you also have to think he knew for a fact how dangerous that was.
Yeah. And the fact that he still did it.
And he went, you know what? This is worth it.
It's
I think he's not gonna rank well for me because if he was fully like mentally well and decided that he should do a handstand over a massive pit.
And keep in mind, he didn't do the handstand on like the ground platform next to the railing. He did it on the railing. Like, at least if he did it on the ground next to the railing, if he tilted
Wait, he was on the railing?
He was on the railing.
Oh my.
Yeah,
that just made him go down a lot of points.
It's like, one thing is doing it next to, doing it on like the cement part next to the railing, because you tumble over, you hit the railing, nothing bad happens. When you're doing it on the railing,
your back.
Yeah, when you're doing it on the railing, you either go one way onto the cement or the other way down the 100-foot drop, and you're dead. And he flipped the coin, and it landed unfortunate.
So, are we doing 10 being the most dumb and 1 being the least dumb?
Yeah, well, actually, you could go 0. It has a 0 to 10.
Okay, 0 to 10.
But, yeah, 0 would be like, this was just unlucky accident, and 10 being, like, it sucks you died, but you brought this on yourself, so.
Honestly, I feel like he deserves like a 9.
Yeah. And keep in mind,
like,
no one here, well, we haven't found anyone yet, but as far as we're concerned, no one deserves to die. I say that sparingly, though, because there are some people in this world who, it may just be better off that they're gone, but for this guy...
This man was not one of them.
He wasn't, he didn't need to go, but it's like, you gotta look at all, like, you gotta think about what's gonna happen. And
he didn't think things through.
Part of the thing is, he's a 20-year-old. 20-year-olds are still developing their prefrontal cortex, so that, that they say most deadly accidents occur between like 18 and 24, because that's when your brain is still developing, but you're technically an adult. So you think, oh, this decision is okay. I'm an adult. I approve of this decision. But, that could lead to some of the most, dangerous accidents and, decision making, and especially being with friends. I don't remember how many. Was he with his friends? I'm trying to remember. I can't find it.
I think he was, because who else would have mentioned like what happened?
I guess, yeah. It doesn't help too, because I know some friends can kind of egg people on and go, "Oh, that would be funny." It's like, "Hey, watch me do this," and they go, "That'd be funny," and then he goes and does it, and they go, "Dang, that's cool," and then he falls, and they go, "We could have stopped this if we just told him no." Oh God. So. That's pretty bad, and that's sad for the friends. Although it doesn't say in here that he's with friends, so I'm not sure. And why would you do that if you're not with friends? Like, the only reason I could see you doing this is go, all right, take a picture of me, or you're with your friends and they go, hey,
this.
Bet. Like, that's the only reason I could see someone. If you're by yourself, what's the purpose?
Yeah, I don't see anyone doing that. Just solo going, hey, haha. Watch me do a handstand over this cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. What's gonna happen?
It is interesting, though. They're talking about the force of gravity, the speed of an object, and free fall doubles for each second it falls. Which, like, I'm actually surprised that's correct. I think, as far as I'm aware. Which
For the first 10 seconds,
yeah,
I think.
and then it's
After
just
that, it starts.
I'm curious, how fast was this guy falling when he hit
Well,
the ground?
we have formulas for that.
We have
How far
physics.
did he fall?
100 feet about.
Could you give me that in meters?
Oh my god. Is it in meters? It might be in meters. Where is this? I don't know. I can't even find it. Dude, it doesn't even tell me where the depth is. I swear I read it, didn't I?
I think so. Anyways, let's just get to voting. I'm gonna give him a 9. I really think that, while it is unfortunate that he perished, I think that he was very much egging it on in his actions.
Yeah. See, this one's hard for me because it was kind of an accident, but it was also he did egg it on.
It definitely was an accident. Like, there's no question about whether it was an accident or not. But it's one of those things of, I'm reading it on, wasn't an accident that could have easily and logically been avoided without, like, much thought.
Yeah, because that's honestly, the thing. It's one of the things where the possibility is there for him, but he didn't consider how prominent is that possibility.
Yeah, I think that he had enough knowledge to know what he was doing was dangerous, and I think that he ignored that caution of, hey, this is dangerous, and because of that, I'm giving him such a high score, because he was very well aware of what he was risking and what he was kind of doing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give him an 8 on this one.
An 8?
I don't think he quite deserves... I'm waiting to reserve 9 and 10 for someone really, really stupid, but I feel like this guy was just kind of like... He just didn't think it through. It was like on a whim. Yeah. He probably just walked up and he's like, I'm just going to do it. Didn't think much of it. He obviously didn't consider what the outcomes could be. Hey, watch this.
Aha.
And I think if he took a little bit of time to think about it, he would have stepped back and been like, oh, that's not smart. I should not do this.
Just like 30 more seconds of, hey,
maybe not.
Is this really the best choice?
And as we see here, the average vote is 8 out of 10. Although there are a lot of people who voted 10. 35%. So 974 of the total 2,801 votes are 10s. So, yeah, 35% of the people
be that high, actually.
think he is one of the dumbest people, and this is one of the saddest deaths. Which it is pretty sad, but it's also just kind of it's just unfortunate. It's like, yeah, if you just thought it through a little bit more, you would have been fine. But oh well. That concludes this segment of How Stupid Is. I think that's what we called it, right?
Yeah, something like that. So, if you want to watch any of the ads we referenced in this episode,
we'll throw them in the description down below.
Or you want to read this story for yourself or other ones like it, links will be in the description for your leisure. And we'll have some time stamps for the major things.
Yeah. Other than that, I think we can wrap this up. This has been the ADHD Podcast with Kyle and Nick, episode 1. Take care. We'll see you next week.